everyone, Jess here, and today I'm joined with Heather Figallo from Vueling Airlines. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Oh, thanks
So,
for having me. I'm excited to be here.
yeah, of course. So first of all, could you offer some insight into your role as Chief Transformation Officer at Vueling?
Yeah, so the way that we manage the transformation here is sort of horizons, right? So we're talking about our horizons as today, tomorrow, and beyond. So we put together a long-term ambition that's 10 years out. We break it down into 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, quarter, sprints, all the way down to like your daily activities. So what I do is monitor and work with all of the teams to make sure that we have the right plans in place, that we're going to achieve our 10-year goal, and that we have incremental goals that we can achieve along the way, so that we're just constantly in a state of change and constantly in a state of moving forward that has a 10-year ambition. So no one's
Fantastic.
safe from the transformation here. It's like it's across every dimension of the company.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the headline. No one's safe from this transformation.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're really excited to have you joining us this year at World Aviation Festival in October. So today, we're just having a brief conversation, getting some additional insight into the themes that you'll be covering, and also having a look at Vueling's transformation more broadly.
Yeah.
So with Vueling turning 20 this year, I thought it would be appropriate to reflect on the key strategies that position the airline as one of Europe's leading low-cost carriers.
Yeah. So, well, I have been here since 2019, so I can give you a little bit of the history and then tell you what's happened as far as the transformation. So, Vueling was started, as you said, 20 years ago in 2004. It was the first low-cost carrier in Europe, and we're headquartered in Barcelona. So, in the beginning, we just had a couple of planes and a little bit over 100 people. So now we have over 120 planes, 124 planes with about 4,600 people. So we feel like we've done a great job, growing and making sure that we're covering Spain and other areas of Europe as a low-cost carrier. So when COVID hit, this has been a real opportunity. It was a crisis, but it was also an opportunity for airlines to take a step back and rethink about their strategy. So we did relaunch our mission and vision and values in 2020, 2021. And as part of that, our vision actually includes the words, achieving our potential through Vueling Transform. So the transformation is actually a very integral and critical part. It's our overall business strategy to deliver our long-term plan, our mission, our vision. And we're using these behaviors like make it happen, make it better, customer focused or customer oriented, cost focused, win together, and always be safe. So we've identified all of these things to try and help us achieve the long-term goals, but I think since 2004 we've done pretty good so far, right?
Absolutely, I'll say. And then thinking specifically about the digital side of this, how has Vueling's digital mindset influenced the airline's approach to tech and innovation? And what sort of tangible changes have we seen this both internally and for your passengers?
Yeah, so being a relatively young airline, it's in our DNA. We always think, we're digitally native. Our teams really primarily grew up in a digital world, especially as far as the airline goes. So we're very fortunate in that way, and we're very fortunate to have some younger and more agile technologies that allow us to make changes really, really quickly. So we really pride ourselves on a lot of the work that we do, especially right now with artificial intelligence and with our innovation teams that are very, very tightly aligned with the business function and with transformation. So we're lucky in that we have a really good collaboration between the technology teams, the business units, and the long-term strategy. So, we've done things like we recently implemented BISM as a payment method so that our customers are able to pay, in more modern and progressive ways. And then, we work with our providers like Airbus. We've done a lot of technical implementation for predictive maintenance and with their Skywise system to make sure that we're ahead of the curve and we're being as efficient and as effective as possible and leveraging the technologies to do that. So technology and agility is just part of the way we are. And actually, in our value system, when we say make it happen, what we're talking about is agility, right? And the ability to change and progress.
Fantastic. And then, so as you mentioned, you are a fairly young airline. How are you going to sort of maintain this agility as you grow? Because we understand that so much of success comes from this sort of strategic response to the changing environments. And like with the pandemic, we have seen the environment change drastically and rapidly.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we do here is sort of like a constant reflection on ourselves, right? So we're always making sure, we have a very, very active kind of competitive landscape that we're always monitoring and making sure that we're able to differentiate ourselves against the competition. And that also we're constantly looking at ourselves and competing with ourselves. Every year should be a record-breaking year. Every year, we should be getting better. So I think it's really built into the way we are, and we still have this kind of very startup and entrepreneurial mindset, even though we're maturing as an organization, and we sort of hold that sacred, right? And we make a real effort to constantly look at ourselves, make sure that our bureaucracy is not too heavy, make sure that we're not sort of holding our own selves back. Right now, I'm in the middle of an exercise of doing that with the transformation in and of itself. Like, hey, are we on the right track? Do we have the right governance? Can we move fast? How can we speed up decision making? How can we be more confident in the things that we're doing? And we use a lot of technologies to do that as well.
Fantastic. And then you also have a steering committee with, I believe it's up to 70% female representation, which
Yeah.
in and of itself is really important and impressive. How do you think this focus on diversity and inclusion has impacted the development of the company?
It's really interesting because like I said, I've been here about 5 years. And even when I came here, there was a really high level of diversity compared to the rest of the industry. And over the last few years, it's increased. I think that there's a concentration, or a focus on it, but I also believe that like we really are finding great talent and we're just pulling in the right talent and it just happens to be women, and that's great. And I hope that it's again one of the things that's in the DNA of the organization. Across the entire organization, we really have a high level of diversity. And I think, what I'm hoping is that the more that myself and other people that are in the leadership and management committee at Vueling are out talking, that we can be sort of a leader in the industry, that we can show people like, hey, it's not that hard. You can really have a super diverse management team, and, the talent's there across the industry, across, maybe even within your own organization. And I think the other thing that we've done is made a real conscious effort when we do internal promotions and internal job postings and things like that. We're always looking at diversity figures. We've published our sort of mission statement around diversity and inclusion, and we track it and we publish to our employees what those numbers are. So we, count the numbers and then we say we make the numbers count. Right. So you can't just count, you have to do something with it. So it's I think another element that's really in the DNA, also maybe from being a younger airline as well, a little bit more progressive in that way.
Absolutely. And it's good to hear that you have such a sort of active checking in process. It's not you set this target and then you just sort of hope it will happen organically. It's really touching base and making sure, like you say, right people for right jobs, but also this sort of leading by example. And it's really nice to sort of see an airline taking this stance. So, like I mentioned at the start of the interview, you are joining us in October at World Aviation Festival. What motivated you to choose to join us? And aside from the sessions, are there any people or sessions that you're particularly looking forward to?
Yeah, so one of the things I really love about low-cost carriers, especially across the globe, is that, it's a really tough business. I mean, it's a fast business, it's high volume, low margins, like it's hard, and we need a support group. And so I have a lot of friends across the globe in different low-cost carriers where we don't overlap our networks, we don't compete with each other, so we really do help each other. So one of the reasons I wanted to come to the World Aviation Festival was to see those friends, and be able to connect with them in person and share stories and, sort of commiserate. And then I think, obviously a great speaker lineup. There's 3 or 4 people that are from Vueling that are going to be speaking as well. So we're going to spend some time together while we're there and support each other and, learn from each other and share our stories. So I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Fantastic. Well, we're really looking forward to having you, and I look forward to seeing your session come October.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for the conversation. I appreciate it.